Round here, them guns get the last word.
What I wanted to do was look at previous polls that I have done and just talk about them. And not only can we see the results of what people have voted for, we can also see how much believed in season 2. That's something what you will see in here. It's like, oh, do you think season 2 will fix it? Yeah, I think season 2 will fix it. And then season 2 doesn't fix it. And also you can see which type of characters people want. The first poll here is do you want Armor King in season 2? Yes is 77%. No is 23%. I wonder why people would say no. That's a weird one. Why would you say no to Armor King out of all things? And when you talk about season 2 having 2 returning characters, one is blue, one is purple. I think the purple character is Armor King because the purple character, whoever it is, will be shown at EVO. EVO is the biggest reveal of the year. Will they show Kunimitsu? Can Kunimitsu take that spot and have no criticism, no backlash, no nothing? I mean, in my opinion, I don't think so. Kunimitsu was just remembered to be a obnoxious character. And also, she was one of the latest DLC characters. So you will have this thing where they're selling the same character twice in like 3 years, 4 years. But then also eat these mix-ups, you know? So I would much rather Armor King. Armor King represents what Tekken was. Kunimitsu represents what Kunimitsu is, right? But we'll see though. Your guess is just as good as mine, you know? Next poll. Are you excited for new moves for all characters in season 2? Look at how everyone said yes. I said no. I was in the minority. This is why these polls are good, because you could go back and look, like, were you a part of the 79% who thought new moves were good? I said no. And exactly what I said happened. I said that the new moves has a very strong possibility of ruining characters' identity. Because that's what happened in Tekken 7. In Tekken 7, when they gave new moves, those new moves were so powerful to where it radically overhauled the way that Yoshimitsu was played. Those new moves that he was given in Tekken 7 Season 2, Season 3 are so powerful to where I use them to this day to body opponents. And I felt they would do the same thing in Tekken 8. And now, surprise, surprise, they did. And with all of these new moves, players are hoping and dreading and wishing they removed it. But the question is like, how many of these new moves are going to be here to stay? Season 2 of Tekken 7, we got new moves and we're using them like 7, 8 years later. It's going to be the same thing for some of these characters. Maybe not all of them, but some of these characters, the garbage they were given, it's here to stay. And that's what I feared. That's why I voted no. Next poll. Strongest character in Tekken 8 currently. This is season 1 we're referring to. Jin Kazama wins the poll over half percent. But then you have Yoshimitsu was at 26%. And then Claudio. The reason why I put Claudio is because Claudio was considered to be top 5 at the time. And then, of course, you have Nina. But now with season 2, all of this has changed, and I personally don't know which characters is really powerful. Arsenal said that Lars has some limitations. He's trying out Leroy Smith now, so we'll see how the season 2 meta unfolds. I'm still trying to figure out which characters are truly top tier, right? Oh yeah, you guys remember this one? Should Tekken 8 reveal DLC all at once or one at a time? I'm so upset that the developers haven't committed to this. I mean, but this poll is pretty close, right? I was asking how much of a margin do we need in order to flip the tide? 35%, 65%. Michael Murray's poll was pretty similar. Even with the results favoring all at once, he says, no, we're still going to do one at a time. Now, he did say they're going to try to show examples of what the character is. You talk about returning, legacy. But then also, he said that he's going to try to reveal the characters faster, sooner, put them out quicker. Now, he said that. Meanwhile, we're still waiting forever for the next character. So I don't know what he meant by that. What are you most excited for about season 2? Half says balance changes. 27% said Anna Williams. Rank was 7%, new moves was 16%. But everyone wanted balance. That was the only thing that could save this game. None of the other things could save this game. People love Anna, but season 2 overshadows her. Some people love the rank changes. Season 2 overshadows it, right? So that's why that many people put votes on that, right? Now, this is one of my own personal beefs right here. Do you think Tekken 8 throws are too hard to break? This is something that we talked about a lot. And it's interesting how I was having all of these conversations about throws, why throws are difficult, why throws are this, why throws are that. And then surprise, surprise, the developers try to throw chip damage on throws. But also, the majority of players say, no, it's not difficult at all. And then also with this being a result, something that I was highlighting in the past is like, okay, the majority says, no, it's not difficult. So how do we get to 30% to also realize that it's not difficult and to embrace the throw system? What is the 30% doing that the 70% is not? And vice versa. Do you want Marlock in season 2? No is 71%. Yes is 29%. I think Marduk just represents the worst of Tekken 7. Had high damage, a lot of guessing and mix-ups, and he was just super unfair. I don't blame people for not liking Marduk because it was the way he's balanced. Cool character, but he was balanced terribly. And also when you talk about Marduk, this was why they shouldn't make characters pay to win, because we see that this have a long-lasting impact on the character. Marduk will be remembered as a very toxic character for a very long time. Another poll. Are you buying Season 2 Pass for Tekken 8? I said no. 52% said no. 47% said yes. I wonder how those people feel. Do you feel lucky? Punk, do you?
Well, do you, punk?
Don't ask me horse shit.
1 month ago, who would win in the tournament? Team Europe versus Team USA. This is simpler times, right? This is when the game had some resemblance of scale. People were really engaged in the conversation of the game. But now a poll like this, people would fill the comment section with who cares, who cares, who cares, the game sucks, you know? It just shows the difference in how players feel about the game. No longer are players willing to engage with conversations like this because the game is bad. Who do you think the blue silhouette is teasing for Season 2? I say Bruce, 28%. But 36% says Lee Wulong. That's an interesting one. I don't think he will be the character. He could be the character, though. They could definitely walk up on stage and show him. Really, I think Lee and Bruce are both W's. I just don't have faith in the developers to do Lee justice. You talk about being in this era of simplification. Do you think they could do the stance god, the god of complexity? Do you think they could do that character justice? Or will he be a cheap imitation of himself, where you just press like a 3-3-3 through his stances, 2-2 through his stances? Do he autopilot through his stances, or do they allow the real Lee to show? If the real Lee could show, then I would 100% support him. But I don't have faith in him to allow his complex gameplay to exist. And even with Bruce, I feel like it would be the same thing. Bruce is going to lose all of his identity when he shows up. I just don't want that to happen to Lei. It would hurt my soul. Highest rank we reached in Season 1. I was in Supreme, right? The majority of players were in Fujin, the blue ranks. But I am interested as time goes on. Hopefully they fix the game. I am interested to see how high people can climb. But then also when you talk about the God ranks, how many people are able to achieve those bad boys? Who do you think the purple silhouette is teasing in Season 2? Armor King, 47%. That's almost half. And then Kunimitsu makes up the other 38%. The 4% that said Gonry or someone else, which is 11%, crazy, right? But I think it really is Armor King and Kunimitsu. And if I had to flip a coin, or if I had to place money down, I would say Armor King for sure. Will the boycott change the direction of Tekken 8? Now, a lot of people had no faith. 21,000 votes, 65% said no. But we see that it is. Right, the developers apologized. They did emergency patches. They have another emergency patch coming in May, which we're in right now, right? It seems that the boycott is working, but this is just tweets and talk. We'll have to see how the game actually takes shape, and that's what the players are really like lacking faith in, right? But the results of this poll is just, you know, bad regardless, because you can just see how the players don't have faith. What contributed the most to Tekken 7's success? The reason why I asked this question is because Tekken 7's success has impacted the series overall, and they made all of these drastic changes in Tekken 8 to try to recapture that success. I think it's important to then go back and look at what made the game successful. Was it DLC characters, guest characters? Was it game design and balance? Was it hype and tournament scene? Was it Street Fighter V underperforming? Of course, you could say all of the above, but I think Street Fighter V underperforming is what allowed it to be accessible to more people. When people looked for a fighting game to play, it's not Street Fighter V. It's not Mortal Kombat 11. It was Tekken 7. And I get why people say game design and balance, but here's what people, I think, don't realize. Tekken 7 isn't considered the best Tekken of all time. Some people are talking very negatively about the game now, right? Using hindsight and whatnot, right? I disagree with all of that, but my point is that Tekken 7 is like a decent Tekken, right? It's not better than 5. It's not better than 3. It's on the levels of 6. Some would say Tag 2. Like, it's a very normal Tekken game, right? It's a very normal Tekken. And I think if you were to put Tekken 6 in the environment of Tekken 7, the outcome would be the same. That's why I don't think it's the game itself. I think it's outside factors. It's more so DLC characters, the hype tournament scene, Street Fighter V underperforming than the game itself. We have many solid Tekken games and only one was able to be a massive success. Oh, and the developers said tournament scene was the #1 factor for Tekken 7's success. That's why they wanted to make Tekken 8 more interesting to watch. Faster pace, faster tempo, right? And that's my point, is like, what didn't exist in the era of Tekken 6, Tag 2, Tekken 5? A hype tournament scene, crazy guest characters, Street Fighter underperforming. That's my point, is when you look at all of those past eras, Tekken was always Tekken, but the environment was different. Should heat be earned or started full at the match? Now, a lot of people are saying it should be earned through attacking and defense, 84%. This is out of 15,000 votes. But I did see one really good counter to this, is that the rounds do not last long enough to really gain heat back. It's really interesting to look at how Street Fighter is in comparison to Tekken. Tekken is copying a lot of what Street Fighter does, but their mechanics, their tools is more so earned. And also you could burn yourself out. Even with Fatal Fury, you could burn yourself out. There's nothing like that for Tekken. So I think it would be cool to see some type of burnout mechanic added to heat. But see, also with a mechanic like that, you would have to radically overhaul like Heihachi's Ultra Instinct. But in my opinion, I think Ultra Instinct is one of the most busted mechanics in the whole game, so that shouldn't exist, period. But let's keep going. Have you stopped playing Tekken 8? The majority says yes, 64% of 25,000. I say no. And I feel like it's my duty as a content creator to kind of keep playing the game and keep shaping my ideas. 7 days ago, what's Tekken 8's biggest problem? This is an interesting poll. 54% says removing character identity. But the reason why I would disagree with that, and I would say force mix-ups, is because removing character identity is impacting different characters differently. Like if you're a Law main, if you're a Lee main, if you're a Steve main, you're screwed. But there's certain characters out there who their identities is very much intact, like a King, like an Asuka, like I don't even know what Reina's identity is, but I'm pretty sure it's intact. Yoshimitsu is somewhat intact. Even though this is a stance 50-50 game, he's kind of somewhat at home, which is why he was the best character in season 1, right? So this is why I say removing character identity isn't the biggest issue, because certain characters are affected more than others. Now, you could make the argument that the characters that are the worst examples of, or best examples, I don't know which one you say, but the characters who have their identity removed the worst is the worst thing about Tekken 8. But I simply think when you talk about something that can be applied to every character, a problem that every character is dealing with equally, is force mix-ups. Every character can apply force 50-50 mix-ups super easy. It's easy to do. It's very powerful. The reward outweighs the risk tenfold. So that's why I would say forcing mix-ups, is because character identity is something that's only affecting certain characters and not everyone. Where force mix-ups is literally affecting and impacting every moment of the match. That's why the game is unplayable, because of force mix-ups. The game is not unplayable because of character identity. It's only unplayable if you play one of those characters who had the identity removed, if that makes sense. But also, there is a lot of characters who had their identity removed. There's a lot of characters. So I get why people feel this way, because characters is the driving force of Tekken. So if you remove identity from over half of the cast, then yeah, even if you do have like those couple of characters out there who feel at home in this stance mix-ups environment, like an Anna or something, right? There's still a lot of characters out there who feel very crazy. What game/year did you start playing Tekken? The winner of this is 35%. Tekken 1 and Tekken 3, 94 to 99. And it just kind of just speaks to how old all of you guys are. A bunch of old dads out there. What's up, Unc? But then also you talk about this era of Tekken, 29%. This is Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. This is the clashing in ideas that we see. When you see me arguing with people on Twitter, obviously this isn't everyone, but a large portion of this is the newer era. The newer era that only knows Tekken 7, only knows Tekken 8. They have a very different perspective. With Tekken 6, there was a lot of experimentation. With rage, with crushing, with with heavy guards. There was a lot of things that was done in Tekken 6. And over time, they added it more and more and more. And there really is this slicing of the franchise where Tekken 5 and back is more traditional Tekken. Tekken 4 and forwards is this catering to casual comeback mechanic type of Tekken, right?